So you've got tickets to the British Open.
It says a lot about my career in journalism that the only reason I get to cover an international sporting event is because there's an Australian bikie competing in it.
It's boring, but it's part of my life.
When the world's best golfers arrive in the UK next week for the 153rd Open, that's the world's oldest and most famous golfing event, there will be one guy who stands out. Ryan Peake is a 6'2", 110 kilo meat axe former Rebels bikie who happens to be a prodigiously talented golfer.
How does he hit it?
Exactly as you'd expect a bikie to hit it. Hard.
Hell of a comeback story.
We last spoke about this guy, you might remember, about 3 years ago. Quits bikie gang, starts training in prison and wins club tournament while on day release from Wooroloo.
Oh my God! Incredible!
Here are the cliff notes for the story so far. Ryan Peake was a child prodigy golfer who used to play with Australia's best golfer Cameron Smith before he lost his mojo, joined a bikie gang, bashed a drug dealer. Whilst inside, he got a call from sports coach Richie Smith, who helped Hannah Green become world #1 and Minjee Lee to scoop 3 majors. Peake started practicing while still behind the razor wire, won a club tournament whilst on parole, and within weeks of finally being set free, scooped a three-peat of victories in his first post-jail competitive tournaments.
Geez, there really is a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
In short, he f***ed up and he owned it. Got out of Wooroloo Prison Farm in 2019 and concentrated on getting his swing back. Not surprisingly, he discovered that he was a bit rusty after not having picked up a club for the better part of 8 years.
Are you too good for your home?
But under the guidance of his coach, and I've got to stress here, Richie Smith is the real deal. I mentioned Minjee Lee, but he's also coaching her brother Min Woo.
That's exactly what you want.
Under Smith's watch, Peake found his old rhythm and started hitting it better and better.
I've got my mojo back.
And then he qualified for the New Zealand Open.
That was in March. Almost didn't make it to the tee. Spent a fair while in detention at the airport because of his previous OMCG status. He's recounting this underworld fairy tale about how he wasn't a bikie anymore. He was actually a professional golfer, and you can imagine what New Zealand Border Force were thinking.
That doesn't make sense.
He played well, made the cut, and on the final day was nipping at the heels of the leaderboard.
Started the day 4 strokes behind the leader.
On the final hole, Peake needed to make par to win. He set about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory by f***ing up the tee shot.
Played a beautiful round, bogey-free. Was 23 under par.
And the second shot.
Left for him either as the water just beyond the pin, a scary sight. Making sure he leaves it short.
Not an easy putt.
Not even close to a gimme, a full 12-footer. A lot of very good golfers have missed from much shorter distances. You would normally never back yourself 100% to land a putt that long, especially when this is one of your first major tournaments after getting out of prison, and is only 5 days after you almost got the 2-finger salute from New Zealand Customs. But this isn't your normal golf story.
Come on, let's go!
Serenaded by his mates.
He got the silverware. An image that was immediately turned into a meme, made a lot of headlines around the world, and qualified him for the British Open.
Where is the Open being held this year?
It's in a place that a former criminal outlaw will blend right in, Royal Portrush Golf Course in Northern Ireland.
I will find you, and I will respond to you.
I'm Ben Harvey.
What did happen to my invitation in the end?
Yeah.